ये किसी दूसरे आदमी के लिए बनाया गया था, मिस्टर ठोमरे, वॉज नेचुरल शुगर के वो इंचार्ज थे, एंड ही इज unwell and hospitalized yesterday. When I was traveling towards Pune, Yogesh Kulkarni and his team telephoned me to whether are you geared enough to take this particular session and make this presentation or something. So I thought, चलो इस बहाने लोगों से बोलने का मौका तो मिलेगा. So I am here. But I do not have any presentation as such. Over last couple of years, I had been working with some of the agencies who are engaged in development and all this. And since I am a member to a core team of Vigyan Ashram also, in a way I am aware of what are different developments in altogether in various areas and what are different types of efforts being put in by various NGOs, various developmental agencies, government per se, and by development itself. I assimilated some thoughts, not as a presentation but as a note, which I will read it out to you. And still, if you have any doubts and questions and want to discuss something of this, you are welcome. I have said this note as innovations and agriculture. In my opinion, agriculture is a story of various inputs which are day by day becoming crunchier and not available. Land, seeds, plant protection, nutrition, climate change and its management, all these are the crux and the inputs needs to be addressed. Resource management is always a challenge and changes are always inevitable. Price hike, glut in a marketplace, flush seasons, all are the facts of life now. Hence, judicious use of inputs and its use efficiency, for that some innovative approaches is the course of action, in my opinion, to conquer problems of agriculture. And rather, people who are engaged in this occupation. Most of our development and laurels with reference to agricultural production are eaten away with growth patterns of our population. We need to feed crores of our people, and from 70s we did achieve marvels in production, though our productivity remains at average. We hear many stories about India exporting countries, wheat exports to various different countries, because of one good decision by erstwhile agricultural minister has revived the price MSP, minimum support price of wheat, has increased from 8 rupees to 12 rupees, and we could export, and we became the largest exporter of wheat in the world. We are the largest producers of milk in the world, though we consume the largest in the world. Land is meager. Arable land is still depleting day by day, and we need to achieve new heights of production to feed our countrymen. Hence, new futuristic approaches are necessary, and our agricultural community is to gear that particular approaches. In this, seeds and planting material play a major and large role. People are against genetically modified crop productions, but they tend to mistake these developments in the light of how we are going to feed our people. China is more populous country than us. Since they have adopted rice as a crop with genetically modified things, they are exporting rice than to import one. If such technologies can feed the populations, we need to accept that. USA's cotton productivity is good because of its BT cotton use. All this comes with little disadvantages also. There are two sides to every coin. But we should think pluses of it and then address the problems. With respect to planting materials as such, one of the setup units by Jain Irrigations in Jalgaon, how many number of people here they know that is the largest tissue culture manufacturing plants? Only in banana, he manufactures something like 65 million plantlets, and he is the largest capacity in the world. And still, how much percentage of cropped banana is or under Indian conditions has been done with it is hardly 1%. So that much of gap for getting good planting material is to be addressed. So they are working in two areas which are hot in marketplace right now. One is banana and another is pomegranate. So they supply tissue culture plants at a cost with transport booked in advance. Looking towards them at the technology orientation of this particular idea, many number of people have adopted making tissue culture plants available right from sugarcane to strawberry. The one thing which sells, people will produce. That's the message in this. Businesses and markets are increasing progressively with respect to organic agriculture. $1 billion worth of world market is increasing at the rate 20% every year all across the world. You get organic tea to organic wine, you get organic vegetable to organic food. So many number of biocontrol agents to address chemical controls, microorganisms and their cultures and biofertilizers. Can they be answers to this ever-growing marketplace? Yes. In India, a decade back, this business has set their foot and goals in the businesses and now earning strong foreign currency in agri businesses. Hyderabad is one of the biggest hub doing all these exports. One another input to this particular effect is irrigation water. In recent years, we all have seen vagaries of monsoon and the set patterns of monsoon. Precipitation percent-wise is not less. The total quantum is same. But the intensity within time is different. But that is the only source we have, rejuvenation of source of water and irrigation. Groundwater is there, yes, but how much? It is hardly 0.1%. So people participation in such events in water rejuvenation, water harvesting is a must for all these things. I have been attending such conferences with respect to water as a resource in a group called Jala Biradari. Jala Biradari was an organization promoted by Dr. Rajendra Singh Rana, who had received Magsaysay Award for his contributions in making rivers flow in the areas of Rajasthan in 5 districts, and with people's participation he had worked in the areas of 5 drought-prone districts of Jaipur, Sawai Madhopur and vicinity, and he could construct with people participation 10,000 such barns, such units. Till now, he has done it in 50s, and till now, all the rivers in that area, when the precipitation is less than 450 millimeters, are still flowing. But they are addressing the problems of water administered to cattle. They have cattle in water for cattle was their only major thing. Not much of agriculture has been done over the place. But to address that, one of our friends, Mr. Khanapurkar from Jalgaon area, he has developed one pattern on the basis of how to harvest this particular precipitation by making these nalas and bunds, by deepening, widening and storing that water till the level of aquifer. We had gone across to see efforts in the areas of Shirpur. Half of Shirpur Tehsil of Jalgaon district is very much not known, Satpura ranges. And for his efforts for last 15 years, people are doing agriculture entirely on irrigated basis. All the crops, right from cotton to banana and from maize to any other food crops, people are harvesting very good fields. We have seen that particular efforts resulted into a very aggressive agricultural development pattern as such. When resource is meager, people participation is best. When people are having a fear that they are not getting this particular resource in plenty, then their participation comes from their own participation. If we put as much of water from precipitation in the ground, it will recharge the aquifers over a period of time. How much period of time? Within one single season. Pandharpur, there is a place called Pandharpur in Solapur district, which is known for its drought for years together. There is one river called Agrani, which travels 200 kilometers in the entire belt. People have come forward to have these funds, and first efforts were given by, in money terms, with machinery terms, for digging and widening and all that, from government of Maharashtra. And you will wonder, with single rain, in a day's time, they received something like 25 mm of rain, that is 1 inch. And the entire river started flowing. with only 6 bandharas on that, and it is still flowing. So such efforts are needed to do this meager resource available. Because unless there is water available, nobody is going to make life better. As regards the management, they are producing as per will, but that should not be our plan. Natural selection along the climate lines can give us new productivity fronts. You always hear something on cane development front because it is cane is one area, cane is one crop which takes most of the water. And Mr. Pomre has addressed this in his sugar factory. When his factory was going to be closed because of water shortage, though he had 25 kilometers of pipeline made from some river over the area, he had asked some person who is knowing technology for a better, and I'm going to close this factory versus winning answer. When he started discussing this, what he has to change was, because sugarcane, many people must be knowing how the sugar is made. Juice, after some treatments, it is made into 1 ton of sugar. 1 ton of sugarcane produces something like 12% of sugar. That is the best average which we receive in our Maharashtra state. Rest of that is water only. A technical advisor, what advice gave him was how to get those fruits, made it into water, and that water can be recycled. He had to change the whole design of his factory, and now his factory is run not from the river water, but from the water harvested of the cane juice. 25,000 liters of his daily requirement is being met only with a technology change or other design change of that particular factory. But how many number of factories have changed such design to make this particular thing viable? No one, other than Mr. Kumar. Because that was his problem. This should not be the case. There are so many number of factories which are being run on various types of arrangements, but nobody looks towards it as a water conservation basis. So another thing which I wanted to tell, why I said some amount of planning is required. Maharashtra is the best state for sugar cultivation and sugar harvest in terms of not only yield, but in terms of recovery of the juice also. The highest cane producer in the country is UP, which is the lowest recovery percentage is in UP. Why? Because it is always addressed like cane is lazy man's crop. It's not like that. Even I myself grow sugarcane in my own area, where in a year's time I also get 70 tons per acre. But what is the average of UP? You will say, no one, I dare to say, it's not more than 20 tons an acre. So why such amount of disparity we should take? Why not promote good crops which are meant good to produce and yield? Just like all the grain crops can be done very good in UP. So such type of planning needs to be done. Some conceptual changes with respect to waste management are also needed. When we produce something, we create waste also. If this waste is of biological origin, it can be converted into gas and gas can run a turbine, and then I have given a proposal in Nasik area where Pimpalgaon Paswant is one mandi. You will wonder, there are only 3 crops in that area. One is tomato, another is grapes, the third one is onion. These 3 crops together, within 6 months of its operation, this mandi has a turnover of 25,000 crores. And what waste they create? Tomato as a waste, onion as a waste, and grapes as a waste. If all this waste can be recycled into making a gasifier or a gas proportion, and gasifier running an engine, the whole of mandi can have their own electricity of their own. But nobody bothers about such proposals because many number of things are involved into it. But somehow I am hopeful that people are getting geared to do that and inquiries are on. Every time when we ask whether there is a change we want, are you agree to change? The answer is yes. But are you yourself geared to change? I don't know. I would share this one slide which I received yesterday.